Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm looking at the solo mode in the new expansion for 3000 Scoundrels, the Double or Nothing expansion. And disclaimer that I was sent a review copy of the base game and the expansion. I'll be doing a full solo playthrough and then giving some thoughts on the game at the end, so use the timestamps if you want to skip ahead. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our podcast for more great reviews and discussions, or come and join the conversation on our Discord. So the theme of 3000 Scoundrels is kind of a typical Old West theme, except that a time traveler has gone back to the Old West, brought tons of technology and inventions with them, totally upset the balance of everything, and then they suddenly disappeared. They got whisked back to the future by the time police, like maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme did some splits and time copped them, and now all the people that are left behind are battling over who gets the tech from this time traveler to rule the West. So you've got 3 days to try to get as many points as you can. You're mainly going to be getting them by stealing these safes full of technology from these 3 locations. We have a general idea of the number of victory points each safe is worth, but we're not 100% sure. And then besides that, the main thing you're doing is hiring these scoundrels. And the game's called 3000 Scoundrels, go on, because it's a Mystic Veil-ish style thing where you have these sleeves. These you always leave sleeved with these plastic cards in them. And then you slide in these traits. This is going great, Mike. You slide in these traits. So it's not just a courier. What kind of courier is it? It's a reclusive courier. And it's going to change the amount of money it costs to hire them. It's going to change the timing of their abilities, what their abilities actually do. So yeah, if you put everything together, in the base game there's 3000 combinations. I think with the expansion there's 6000. And those scoundrels will be going on your player board, and in each day you're going to take 4 turns. Each turn is going to consist of you taking one of the poker cards in your hand. You'll draw 4 out of your 7 with values 0 plus ace through 6, and you'll put them on one of these spots. And you can technically put them on any spot you want, whether they match or not. But if they don't match, that's called bluffing. In the competitive game, the other players can call you out and put one of their henchmen on your card to say that they think you're cheating. In the AI solo mode, they're going to randomly do that based on the card they draw. But regardless, whichever place you put them on is going to give you access to some abilities. And then as you get scoundrels, those abilities will multiply. So you get an engine going and get to do more things. And after you've planned your card and resolved any abilities, then you get to either hire somebody from the saloon or go to the sheriff's office and resolve one of the special abilities here, including 2 added ones that come with the expansion. And at the end of the day, after going through 4 cards, you do it again, twice more, and again, you total up your victory points mainly from safes, but also some of the scoundrels will have tech symbols, and then this little reputation track at the bottom can give you bonuses or minuses to your score. And whoever has the most after 3 days wins. And when you get to the solo mode, it's very straightforward. You have 4 different personalities, each with their own deck and kind of unique mechanics. I'm playing against Preston Kane, who's going to be stealing safes and marking them right along with me. Marking means putting these tokens on them. If they match the victory point value of the safe, then it makes the safe worth an extra victory point, or tech point, whatever it's called. But the automa runs super simply. After each of your turns is about to finish, you flip up the top card of their deck. If it matches the value that you put your card on, you resolve the top thing. Otherwise, you resolve the bottom thing. One of the cards or a couple of them are going to cause the automa to reshuffle their deck. And then you just compare your score to theirs. Each of the automa calculates it a little bit differently. Preston's pretty much the same as a regular player. He's going to get the highest score he gets from his 3 best safes, but other ones will score based on the money they have, or like having a set score plus reputation. So it depends on the automa what you're actually going against them for. So I am, by the way, playing with a strategy card. With the expansion, there's 3 of these for each player board. In this case, I have Transform Allies, which is an ability I can use when I place a card in my 6 slot. And it lets me swap the trait of 1 scoundrel in the saloon with 1 trait of one of my scoundrels. So like if I had the clueless bank robber and the whining rancher was on the saloon, I could turn my bank robber into a whiner and turn their rancher into a clueless person. This is a way to make the game a little bit easier against the automa, but the main reason I want to use it is because it's the only thing that makes the factions different for the players. And again, with the expansion, there's 3 options here. But if I wanted to make Preston more challenging, I could flip him to his expert side. I'm not going to do that because I've been actually struggling to beat the Automa, so we'll see how this game goes. But again, I am playing on one of the easiest ways you could play. I could make it a lot more challenging. All right, and before I choose my card, and I have Ace, 3, 0, and 6, let's look at the Scoundrels available to us. So the Clueless Bank Robber, he looks a little bit... it's going to activate whenever I place a 6 card. And then this symbol means when I place a henchman on somebody else's 6 card, which is me accusing them of bluffing, of not actually playing a 6. But in the solo mode, instead, when you play a 6, you can put one of your own henchmen in jail. And then you have to use card abilities or go and pay bail to get them out. And if you don't have them, the Automa can do nasty things to you. But yeah, so for this guy, I could use him whenever I place a 6. Or when I put a henchman. Actually, this is a little weird since this is the same timing, basically. So I don't think I would ever use the right ability here. But I get to send one of my henchmen to jail to gain $6 with that guy. And he costs nothing because there would be, here's a better example. There would be some dollar bills there. The Whining Rancher triggers at the start of my hire step if I can't afford any of the Scoundrels. So if I choose to hire but everybody's too expensive, which currently they aren't, then I can either gain 4 money or spend 1 money to lose a debt. Debt are these tokens you can take on your turn, up to 2 per turn. Each one's going to give you 2 money. And these are, by the way, expansion mechanics, but you have to use all the expansion stuff for solo, so it is a little bit extra to learn. Sorry about that. But yeah, so you have to you get 2 money for each of these you take. They sit on your player board. You can go to town to get rid of them by paying some money. But otherwise, at the end of the game, they flip, and most of them are -1 victory point. For a smaller portion are -2, like this, and some of them are -0. Anyway, so there's that guy. And last option is the Reclusive Courier. If at the start of my turn there are 0 henchmen on my card, so the Automa has not accused me of bluffing, then I can hire the top scoundrel of the discard pile, reducing its cost by 4. That's definitely the guy that I want. He seems pretty awesome, and I'll just hope that Preston Kane is not coming for me too harshly. And then for my main abilities, the 6 already transforms my allies, as we said. 5 for everybody lets you steal a safe. 4 and 3 get you money, 4 and 3 respectively. And an ace or a 2 lets you scout a safe, so look at one of the safes that are face down, and then mark it with one of your tokens. If you say the real value, again, the safe is worth +1 victory point per correct mark. So like if the safe was worth 6 victory points and I put a 6 on it, but that applies to anybody. So if Preston steals a safe, it'll also be worth +1 victory points. You don't have to scout a safe ahead of time. You can just steal it. But you can only hold 3 safes at the end of the game. If you get one that you don't like, you can replace it, so you don't have to like keep bad saves, and they just go back to the board. All right, that was a lot of lead up. Let's actually get to like the first turn for real. So I think I want to scout. Yeah, nobody's too expensive yet, and I don't want to use my 6 for transforming allies. I'm not going to bluff unless I need to. So let's go ahead and do an ace to scout a safe at a site. And if I had multiple abilities, I could resolve them whenever order I want. But right now, the only one I have is this. So there are 6 safe values at each location. So here, 2 of them are 3s, 2 are 4s, and 1 is a 5. But there's 1 randomly taken out. Here, they go down to 2, but also go up to 6. Here, there's 2 2s, but also a 7. So yeah, they have, bigger variance over here, highs and lows, more consistency here. And you'll see that 3 out of 5 safes at each place are in a sleeve. This is also from the expansion. These are mods that the safes go into, and it's going to modify like the right side of the safe, give you ways to lose or gain victory points. But anyway, let's scout something basic. Let's scout this depot one. And normally we just look at it and then leave it face down. I'm just going to leave them face up since there's nobody to see. So an unstable gadget. It's worth 3 victory points, 3 tech at the end of the game. But if I have no value 6 or value 7 safes, and there are literally only 3 of those possible in the entire game. And heck, they might not even be in the game, or at least 2 of them might not if those were the ones taken out. If I have none of those, this is worth +2. So it actually becomes a 5, which is not a bad value at all. But also a 3 is pretty basic. Now, a 3 is not that great, but I do have to pay attention to Preston Kane. So remember, he's going to score the 3 safes that he's captured that are worth the most. He captured safes. A lot of the other 3 Automa do not. In fact, I think none of them do except him, maybe. But the big thing is that he gets all the mod values regardless of abilities, which means this will automatically be a 5 to him. He doesn't care about that requirement. So you know what? That seems like one I might actually want to go for. Although then I am giving him free reign, potentially get 6s and 7s. Well, whatever. Let's try it out. So, I'm going to mark it. I could mark it with a lie or mark it with the truth. I'm going to say that it's actually a 3. And because that's a correct mark, for each correct mark, it's worth +1. So this would be a 4 right now. And if I didn't have a 6 or 7, it would be a 6 itself. All right, so that's it for that ability. And then I can hire a scoundrel, or I can go to the sheriff's office and jail. So abilities, I can pay off loans. I can spend 1 and gain a debt to scout a safe and market. So another one of those actions. I can spend 2 to free 1 henchman or 4 to free 2. I can just get 2 money. Or in day 3, the last day of the game, I can spend 12 to steal a safe. But I already said I like this reclusive courier that's going to let me potentially just get some people for free from the discard pile. So I'm going to hire him. And whenever you hire scoundrels, you can put them on any of your 7 spots. Often it won't matter, but there are some scoundrels that will activate when another scoundrel activates adjacent to them. And each time you hire a scoundrel, that's the only time you can change the orientation of all your cards. Now, we always create a new scoundrel and refill the saloon after a spot is taken from it. And how it works in the expansion is you're always going to have 1 purple card. So since I just took a purple, I'm going to refill with another purple. But there's also this other deck that starts out green and then gets into black that will come into play whenever we don't have a purple to refill. So we've got an impersonator. What kind? A stubborn impersonator. And there's another one where the second timing doesn't matter in solo, because when I play an ace, I could use it. Or when in the solo mode, when I play an ace and then send one of my own henchmen to jail, I can use it. Clearly, one of those is better than the other. I can swap this job with the job of 1 scoundrel in the saloon. Ooh, that's interesting. So the impersonator would become something else. They would become a rancher, become a bank robber. That's actually really good, especially with my Transform Allies ability on 6. I could create the perfect scoundrel if I wanted to. It only costs 3. Not bad, not bad. Although I already used my ace, so that slot would be impossible to use again for this day. But anyway, that is the end of step 3. So we're going to see what Preston is up to. And he checks the slot that I played into. Was it a 4 or 5? It was not. So we're going to ignore that and just see here. Preston gains 1 reputation unless you send one of your henchmen to jail, and then discard the rightmost scoundrel from the saloon. So generally, they're always going to get rid of 1 scoundrel. So they're kind of cycling through things. So he said, unless I send a henchman to jail, he's going to gain a reputation. That's a straight up victory point for him. Victory points are pretty hard to come by, and I can free 2 henchmen at once for $4. So sure, we'll go ahead and send a henchman away. And who was it? Okay, the clueless bank robber is gone, which means he's the top of the discard pile. And I will be able to use my courier to hire him in a second, which I might as well do because you can always replace scoundrels and buy a new one. So boop. And everybody slides to the right. I don't think I said that. And since we have 1 purple, I'm going to refill with the top of the green black pile. Now, this one's funny. Some of them are like animals and stuff, so it completely covers up the character. So it's a watchful dog. Activates on an ace or 2. Discard this to scout a safe at a site and then mark it. So it's a one-time use for 4. That's pretty dang expensive. I could just go to the newspaper, although I guess getting a debt is in some ways worse than just spending 4 money. All right. So we're going to do 3 more turns until I run out of cards. And start of my turn, if 0 henchmen are on my cards. Yes, they have not accused me of bluffing. I can hire the top scoundrel of the discard pile, reducing its cost by 4. So it goes from 0 to, 0. So cool. We're going to do the clueless bank robber. I might get rid of him immediately, but for now, when I play a 6, he'll let me send one of my henchmen to jail to gain 6 money. Not sure I even want to do that because I only have 1 henchman at the moment, but maybe. All right, so I could do my 6, but I don't really want to send henchmen yet. I think the idea of getting some money seems like a way better idea, especially if I need to get my own henchman back. So I'm going here. I get to gain 3 money. Brings me up to 7. Let's see. Do I care to buy anybody? The impersonator is kind of interesting, but otherwise, nah, I don't really care about any of these. So whenever you decide to go to here and resolve one of these locations, you discard the rightmost cards. You're still always cycling 1 card per turn. This is a pretty nice one. Helpful Locksmith. So this is one of those arrow things. So whenever the card to this guy's left was activated, then afterwards I could activate this guy to gain 3 or free 1 henchman. Whoa, that's a good ability. Especially since I was just saying. Well, either way, I did get rid of somebody, so I have to do this. I'm going to spend 4 to get a henchman, or both my henchmen back, by going to post bail. But yeah, maybe in the future I'll just get that locksmith potentially. All right, and now any slot. Okay, Preston places a henchman on my most recent card, so he's accusing me of bluffing. In the competitive game, you get a penalty for guessing wrong, but in the solo game, they don't get any penalty for guessing wrong, but they do get a reward if they guess right, in that they gain one reputation and you lose one, which is usually going to be a 2 victory point swing. But here we don't really care because it's a 3, although it does mean I can't use my reclusive courier because now there's a henchman on my card. So for the rest of this day, he's not going to do anything. Okay, he places a 3 mark on the top right safe in the depot, which means if this is a 3, it'll be worth +1 victory points to either of us. Now, since I already found one of the 2 3s here, the chance that it is a 3 is, 1 out of 5, so not too high. That's fine. Okay, Preston gains 1 reputation for each of his marks on your stolen safes. So apparently it's bad for me to take safes that he has marked, but that doesn't apply here. Okay, and then discard the middle scoundrel from the saloon. The watchful dog, no. Although I could have hired him for free if only my courier was not indisposed. That's too bad. All right, replaced with a speedy photographer. Cost 3. Again, man, this is a lot of... These are from the expansion, the ones with these maverick symbols, where it's when you put a henchman on somebody else's card. These aren't as good in solo when they're doubled up like that. But yeah, either gain 3 or discard this to gain 1 reputation. So far, the locksmith is definitely the most interesting option here, and I've got the money to get him. I also kind of want to grab that safe before they potentially do, which I think means it's time for a bluff. I'm going to go to 5 to steal a safe from a site, and I'm going to steal. I don't have, remember, it doesn't have to be one that I've scouted, but I'll steal this unstable gadget. So there we go. It's currently worth 3 + 1 for a correct mark, +2 for me not currently owning a 6 or a 7. So that's a 6 safe, potentially, not bad. But hopefully he doesn't call my bluff. Now I've got 3 money. And yeah, I think I do like that locksmith. Let's get that. Ooh, in fact, look at the combo here, y'all. I'm going to move them next to my clueless bank robber because I'm going to play my 6 next turn, and I can transform an ally. I can send one of my henchmen to jail to gain $6 and then immediately free that henchman, or I could just get $9 and leave the henchman to rot. But yeah, I like the sound of that in either case. Our next one is a Radiant Mob. Wow, they're expensive. Okay, so you get to activate them when you do a 6, or when the person to their right activates. Spend 3 and gain a debt to steal a safe from a site. Woo! But 3 and a debt is pretty terrible. Although the Radiant is nice. I think when I do the transform, I might steal the Radiant if it's still there, because activating on a 6 or on a thing, that's a pretty good doubling up of abilities. All right, Preston, don't call me a bluffer. Ah, darn it. Preston places a henchman on my most recent... Oh, unless I send one of my henchmen to jail. Yeah, I know I was bluffing, so I'll definitely do that, especially with my locksmith being there to get me out. Okay, Preston steals the top right safe from the depot. Oh, interesting. So that's the one that he marked. I leave the mark there in case it's worth an extra victory point to him. But besides that, we're not going to find out how much it's worth yet. Okay, and then discard the middle scoundrel. And this is his shuffle card, so everything's back in play. The middle scoundrel is that speedy photographer, which means the Radiant Mob is still an option. And now we've got... Some of these combinations are pretty funny. It's like a street sweep or chimney sweep in, I don't know, a filthy spy. Ooh, a 2 or a 5 activates them? Discard this to scout a safe at a site. Either mark it or spend 4 to steal it. It's a pretty nice ability, too, although, of course, it's discarded afterwards. No way that's worth 7, but with my transform allies, it might be good enough. All right, and speaking of, let's play our 6. So I'm going to resolve the clueless bank robber yet, send a henchman for 6, and then I'll be down to just 1. So then I will, because I activated him, activate him, and free the henchman, so I just get 6 for nothing, giving me 9 total. And again, I can't do my reclusive courier because I do have a henchman on me. And then I also can activate transform allies. Swap the trait of one scoundrel in the saloon with the trait of one of your scoundrels. I'm looking at either radiant or filthy. 2 and 5 or 6. I have a lot of 6 already. Let's go for the 2 and 5. That seems pretty dang good. And who do I want to make filthy? The courier's activation is pretty neat, to be honest. Although, gosh, being able to activate it that often would be great. I don't need to do the bank robber all the time. Although, ooh, if I made them a 2 and a 5, and then I could use the locksmith choices often too. Okay, yeah, you know what? As cool as the courier is, I wanted to get a ton of money. So my bank robber went from being clueless to being filthy. I guess that's an improvement. And the spy, not really much better. All right, now that was just the ability. I can still hire somebody. I have enough money to do it. You know which one I want to get? I think I want to get the impersonator. Being able to steal for like no money somebody amazing later seems pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to buy them for 3, and that is a purple, so I'm going to refill a purple character. Brings out a burly tax collector. Only costs 2. 3 and 5 is a great trait. Gain 2, then steal 1 from each opponent that has less reputation than you. Sadly, most of the Automa, I think only one of them actually has money, so that doesn't do very much. And I could change my placement, but I still like the locksmith activating off the bank robber potentially twice next turn. So we're good with that. And let's see, Preston's last action. 4 or 5. Nope, I did a 6. So gains 1 reputation, lets you send a henchman to jail again. Again, I don't want to give them free victory points. And discards the rightmost scoundrel. All right, it's going to be the Radiant Mob. Bye-bye. That brings me out the Devious Con Artist. Yeah. 5, lose 1 reputation. Lose 1 reputation. Steal a safe from a site. I mean, that's straight up minus victory points, and you can only keep 3 safes at the end, so stealing like a ton is not necessarily a winning strategy, except that you can find the better values. And all right, that is the end of the first day. So we check if we were successfully called on any bluffs. The only bluff I did was here, and I didn't get called on it. In the competitive game, these people would go to jail. In the solo game, they just go right back to the Automa to use again. And then these 4 cards get taken and shuffled, and they go on the bottom of my deck, so I'm definitely going to have 2, 4, 5 next round, and then 1 of these randomly. And I got my 6 back. That's cool. Shouldn't need to bluff too much. And we'll go into day 2 of 3, so the game definitely moves quickly. All right, so it is the start of my turn, so I can hire the top scoundrel of the discard pile, reducing its cost by 4. This is a Radiant Mob. It would still cost me 3. Activates on a 6, or when someone to the left activates. Spend 3 money and gain 1 debt to steal a safe. I don't know about that, because debts would cost me a whole turn of going to a location and extra money to get rid of usually. It might be minus victory points. And I've got my 5, right? Yeah, so I can already steal at least 1 safe this turn. Nah, I'm not going to use my Reclusive Courier yet. All right, so what do I want to do? A 2 or 5 would get me a lot of money. Ooh, but a 2 would let me scout a safe, and then the 5 I could take it if I like it. So let's do that. So I'm doing a 2. So first thing I get to do is I can send a henchman to jail to gain 6. I will, and then I'll use my lockpick to get them right back out. No, that's the same one. What am I doing? So if it does mean I only have 1 henchman still, I guess if I want to get the rest out, I'll have to do the location or move the locksmith to activate with somebody who doesn't actively put my people in jail. But I got a ton of money. Okay, and then I can scout and mark a safe. So I don't want a 6 or a 7, but you know, chances are that that's pretty low. I would get one. Well, I don't really want to go to the laboratory with that because the only good ones there are 6 or 7. So I really want like 5s and 4s. So maybe I'll do the estate. Let's check out. I mean, he goes for the top rightmost one. So let me check out this. Okay, an impressive box of 4. It's not bad. End of the game. If you have at least 4 scoundrels with poker card icons. Currently I have 2. That becomes a 6. That's pretty dang good. Now, how do I mark it? Because I think Preston is more likely to steal mine that have higher marks. So I could like mark it with a 1 or 2. If I mark it with a 4, he's likely to grab it and it would be currently be worth 6 to him. It'd become a 7 for him, which is devastating. And yeah, I don't have any way to like quickly gain a safe. Well, let's take a chance. I'm not really sure how likely his cards are to steal safes that I've marked. I guess we'll find out. Now, who do I want to buy? I have a ton of money. Oh, that's right. I don't have to buy anybody. I could get my people back. The tax collector would, if I get that safe, be another poker value one, a very easy ability to set off to get me some extra money, even though it won't work with the AI. And then the spy, I do have my 6 this time? I do have my 6. Discard this to scout a safe, and I could just straight up steal it. So it'd be 8, but a chance to get a solid safe, or at least figure one out. It's pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll go for that. So I'll spend 4. Let's see. I think I'm about to use a 5, so I don't want to move the locksmith yet, but I might, like, later on move them to be next to the spy before I play my 6. And now we've got, oh my god, it's expensive, a spiteful deputy. After one of my henchmen is sent to jail, oh my gosh, it's happening all the time, send an opponent's henchman to jail, and they don't have, like, any ways to get them back out. Oh, I could lock them down like crazy. Although we're already like, almost halfway through the game. I don't know if it'd be worth it, but geez, that's good. Ooh, what if I got my impersonator to become them? Although the whole good thing about this is after a henchman is sent to jail. Ooh, but if I use transform ally to make one of my people become after a henchman is sent to jail, I don't know. There's definitely possibilities there. Well, before I get too excited, let's see if this guy's stealing my safe. Uh-oh. He has a 2, and I played a 2. Preston places a henchman on your most recent card. That part's fine. I definitely didn't bluff. And then if you mark the save with a 5 or higher this turn, phew, and it's still a site, Preston steals it. So he doesn't do anything. That's great. But I don't want to wait for him to have a second chance, so let's get going while they go. Ooh, no, I can't use, my reclusive courier is already useless with him having a henchman. So 5. First I'll do Filthy Bank Robber. I'll send somebody, Locksmith, I'll get him back, get me 6 money. Gosh, I am rich with that combo. And then I will steal a safe from a site. It's gonna be the impressive box. And that means that 1, 2, 3. I need one more person at least with a poker hand ability. Although she's gonna do, or they are gonna discard themselves when I use them, I guess. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my victory points so far. I know I could buy somebody. Gosh, this Playful Deputy is good, and I can definitely afford him. But I mean, so far I'm not really bluffing much. So do I care if their people are around? Not necessarily. You know what the hey? Let's just get rid of the burly tax collector, go post bail, and spend 4 to get all my henchmen back. Or I guess I don't need to if I buy somebody and then I use this. Yeah, actually, hold on. I'll buy the burly tax collector for 2 instead because I'm planning to do a 6. So I can do that and that to have the clueless spy and the locksmith activate next turn. And the burly tax collector is another card person from a safe, and he might be useful anyway. Boastful Mason. After I steal a safe, reveal 1 bluff you played on a previous turn that has no henchman on it to gain 1 reputation. That's a lot. I plan to steal a ton more safes, so I don't know about that guy. By the way, I haven't mentioned, but I don't think not a single character has come out with the tech icon that would make them worth victory point unto themselves. All right, so that was me. And what are they doing? I did a 5, not a 3 or 4. Preston seals the safe with the highest value mark. I don't have anything marked. If none are marked, he steals the top right safe from the estate. The top right safe. Top right safe from the estate. What do y'all think? Think it would be top is the first word said, right, or top right? I'm going to say this one. Okay, so he's got a second safe. It's no mark on it. Hopefully it's not worth a lot. And then he discards, the Spiteful Deputy. Well, there goes that idea. Greedy Cat Burglar. After you use a scoundrel to gain or steal money, I do a few of those. Discard this to steal a safe from the estate. It's not worth 8. No way is that worth 8, but it's kind of cool otherwise. All right, well, my plan still stands. Let's do 6 and so I can transform allies. Let's get to that in a second, though. So I'm going to use a clueless spy. So I discard this to scout a safe, and then I can mark it or spend 4 to steal it. Let's see how that goes. Still haven't seen the 1-5 at the estate. There's also a 5 at the depot, though. I don't know. Let's try the depot one. It's a 3. Crack screen. If no marks on this safe match its value, -2. Wait, so would this be a 1 for Preston? Cool. So let's make him think that one's real good. Well, not a 6. I guess he would know that's not true. A 5, right? His 1 card said he would steal a safe with a 5. So clearly he picks the 3 best safes. I'm sure if he steals 2 more, that won't actually hurt him to have one that's worth 1 victory point to him. But it's cool for me to know that it's trash. So the good thing is that's the second 3. Remember, he marked 1 as a 3 and then stole it, and I have a 3. So his mark is definitely not going to be giving him a victory point for the 1 safe he stole from here. All right, now I can still transform an ally. And how about this, actually? What if I turn my... Oh, I forgot. I use that so I can gain 3 or free a henchman. Let's free a henchman, so I have 2. And then, I'm going to turn my courier into a greedy courier. And after I use a scoundrel to gain or steal money, I can hire somebody from the discard pile. That's a bit more consistent. And now it's a reclusive cat burglar, which is actually kind of a cool card. All right, now what do I want to do? The cat burglar is really expensive, but the nice thing is I would definitely be able to use him to steal a safe at the start of day 3, because I would have 0 henchmen on my cards. But I could also just get the con artist for super cheap, and that would lock in a 4th poker card, but I'm sure I'll be able to get more of those later. So let's go ahead and spend 6 to get the cat burglar. And I can reshuffle some things. I'm about to play a 4. I don't have to say it's a 4. I could say it's an ace, and then put the locksmith next to her. I kind of like that idea. Let's bluff a bit, or plan to at least. All right, so there we go. The new Scoundrels, a vain outlaw who activates when the person above them or to their left activates. Spend 5 to steal a safe from a site. That is a pretty dang good card. I mean, if you are rich, which I don't know if I am anymore. How about you, Preston? Didn't do a 6. So it places a 4 mark on the top right safe at the depot. Oh yeah, dude, that safe is definitely great. You should totally get that safe. And then discards all tech scoundrels from the saloon, which is actually still none, so he doesn't discard anybody. Interesting. But yeah, I'm very happy that he'll almost certainly steal that safe the next time he gets a chance. All right, he has only placed 1 henchman, which makes me a little worried he'll call me out. Is it really worth it for me to do my plan here? So let's see, I could give her a different job. Ooh, she could get the friggin' outlaw. Spend 5 to steal a safe from a site. That'd be pretty good. And then I could activate the locksmith, and I could get money for the locksmith, which would then let me use the greedy courier since I gained money, which could let me buy the spy again, to scout for free again. There's a lot. Why don't we get the scout here? All right, I'm going to do it. Bluffing. So first, let's change her to be a stubborn outlaw and them to be a vain impersonator. There they are, looking fabulous. And she's not a great outlaw, but I mean, you know, how often do I want to spend 5 money anyway? Okay, and then because she activated, I'm going to get 3 money from him. Boom. And then because I use a scoundrel to gain money, I can hire the spy for free because of the 4 discount. Whenever I hire, I can move people around. So let's get the blacksmith back next to my filthy bank robber, maybe. All right, and if I hire any more people, I'll have to throw somebody away, unless I can use my spy and then discard them. That'd be cool. Oh, and I still didn't actually scout a safe. So I know that one's crud. So maybe keep on looking in the depot for a 5. Motion camera. So when stolen, flip face up. End of each day, spend 4 money to make each opponent lose 1 reputation. That's amazing. I mean, it's only worth 4. I feel like if I stole this, I would just be stealing it to get a better one later. Do I mark it with my own 4 here? Sure. Oh, that's right. I guess I don't need to hide this, do I? Sure, I can mark this with a 4. I mean, he'll clearly prefer the upper right one or the one with my 5, but it is pretty good, costing him a victory point, even though it's only 4 for me. 4 is pretty low. I don't really mind if he gets that one because it's not worth that much, although I guess now it's 5 since I marked it. All right, whatever. That's good. Yeah, for my action for the turn, I don't freaking want any of these people because I'm filled up. So I'll discard them, and I think I'm just going to get 2 money from selling information. I don't really want to get debts or anything at this point. Oh, and I just realized we have too many purples, so that's allowed since I swapped the jobs. What it means, though, is that we won't draw a new purple until both of these are gone. Say we got Annoying Mastermind. Holy crap. After you hire another scoundrel. That is so easy to do, but 11? Discard this to mark a safe at a site and then steal it. Oh, but you don't even get to scout it? You're just guessing, or if you already know? Yeah. That's another one that's not worth the price. But that ability is great, although with me so full up of people, it's not as good. All right, let's see if he's calling my bluff. Ah, darn it. Okay, yeah, so he did call my bluff. That's going to suck. He's going to gain some victory points from that. Darn it. He places a 3 mark on the top right safe of the depot. Oh, man. That's actually right. Darn it. And then he gains 1 reputation for each of his marks on your stolen safes, which is still none. And then he discards the vain impersonator. New cybernetic hypnotist. That's a victory point right there if I just buy this person. For 9. Spend $2 to gain a reputation. That's the best character in the world. What? Oh man, I need them. All right, so end of day 2. Sadly, they got me in a bluff, which means, again, pretty huge. A big victory point swing there. But he still only has 2 safes, so I'm sort of hopeful he'll steal that one, and maybe that'll be it for the game. And then I'll be in a really powerful position. And for the last round, I've got ace 3, 0 is always a bluff, and a 5. No 6. All right, we'll make that work, I guess. All right, so we are going to the next round. My cat burglar. Start of my turn if 0 henchmen are on your cards. Discard this to steal a safe from the estate. Let's go. I just want to clear out space. All right, for now, I'm just going to steal the motion camera. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's worth 5 with my mark. And if I have enough money at the end of this day, I can give him -1 reputation, which kind of makes it worth 6 since I'm stealing 1 from him. So I think it's better than the chance this is the one missing 5. He might already have the 5 or it might not be in the game. All right, but that was just the start of my turn. What card do I actually want to play? So I kind of want to get that cybernetic hypnotist. And he activates on an ace or 2. So I don't want to use an ace yet. I don't really need to steal any more things either. Maybe let's do the 3 and get some money and then get some more money. And then I can hire top person of the discard if I want. Or, I don't know. Let's, all right, I'll do a 5, I guess. Or no, that doesn't seem right. Don't want to do the ace yet. That's the big thing. All right, I'm going to do the 3. I'm going to do the 3. I'm going to gain 3 money for the basic ability. Puts me at, oh, I got another 5 there. So that's 14. That's pretty solid. And then my Burly Tax Collector gets me 2 more. And I could use the Greedy Courier, since I gain money, to rehire the Cat Burglar. No, I want that Cybernetic Hypnotist, right? Okay, so that's it for abilities. I am then going to hire this guy for 9. Okay, so on an ace or 2, I can spend 2 to gain reputation. Ooh, was it a 2 or an ace? Okay, so I'm actually going to move the helpful locksmith down here since I know he'll activate. Our new friend, another super expensive one, Pompous Desperado. End of your final turn, lose up to 2 debts, and then discard this to steal a safe from a site. You may free 1 henchman for each mark on it. It's a pretty dang cool card. I don't have any debts yet, though, so didn't hit. So he steals a safe. He has a mark on. Okay, so he's getting this one, which is worth 3 plus 1, 4, minus 2, 2 for him. So I would love if he keeps that one, but he's probably going to go for another one later. But that is his 3rd safe, so now just extras he's going to get is getting him better options for choices. So he discards the Annoying Mastermind. And our new card, what the heck? Remote controlled horse. 9. It's only if I do a 5 and then put one of my own henchmen in jail, I can use one of my other scoundrels. I mean, that part's pretty cool, being able to activate anybody I want. But yeah, the rest of that is a little bit much. All right, round 2. What do I want to do? Ace, right? Yeah. So let's do ace. First, I want to spend 2 to gain 1 reputation. Boom. Got back what I lost for being caught bluffing. That'll let me activate the locksmith. I'm actually going to get the 3 money because I don't care about having all my henchmen. Because I gain money, I could hire the Annoying Mastermind. All right. Ooh, I can scout a safe and then mark it. And then if I love it, I can spend 5 with the Stubborn Outlaw to actually steal it. So, I don't really know, y'all. Let's just check one at the laboratory. Oh, gosh. A heavy arm. 6 or 8 if the total cost of my scoundrels is 30 or higher. Is it? I think there's a big no way for that. 5, 7, 9, 11. 27. Now, I could certainly buy one of those crazy expensive people, so that would be worth 8, but it would cost me that. And to even get this, I could mark it right now. That would make it definitely worth 7. I mean, it probably is worth it, right? See, if I mark it and then steal it, it would be a 7 or a 9 if I can get enough money to buy some more people. 9 versus this one right now would be a 6. Because that's one I would replace, right? Darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay, I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to spend 5 to steal the safe. And I'm going to put back my unstable gadget. Oh, but that's worth 4, 6 for him. Well, I just hope he won't steal it, I guess. So it goes back to its same spot, which is the estate, or the depot. All right, there goes all my money and a lot of my options. So Preston doesn't steal that thing. Preston places a henchman on your most recent card. That's fine. You go right ahead. He steals the top right safe from the depot, which is literally the one I just put there. Gosh darn it. Discard the middle scoundrel from the saloon, which is a Pompous Desperado. They cost 10, so if I can use my courier guy to hire them for 6, that'll definitely get my thing where I want it. What is this? A holographic engraver. Spend 3 to place a mark on a safe that you already have a mark on. Oh, it can even be a stolen safe. Can you place the same mark on a safe to get it to be worth more? I don't know. And he's shuffling again. All right, so 2 turns left. And I'm definitely going to have to bluff for one of these. So what do I want to bluff on? I can do 2 to do the hypnotist. Ooh, send a henchman to jail to gain 6. That would get me enough. Oh, and then I would gain money so I could hire the lady. Yeah. That seems like maybe the way to go. All right, so let's do that. So I'm going to do boom. So I can scout aside. We'll get to that in a second. I'm going to send a henchman to jail for 6. I'll get my money up. I can spend 2 to gain reputation. I'll do that. Because I did that, I still got 1. I think that's enough. I'm just going to get the 3 money. Okay, and then I gained money a couple times. Wait, I'm not that broke. Should have more than that. Did I just like use a 5 as a 1? I gained 9, and I spent 2, so that's 7. So I think I threw away a 5 as a 1. I think maybe I have 10. Does that sound right? I think I had 2 or 3 left over. Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to buy this at a forward discount, which is 6. I do have to throw somebody away. I don't think I'm ever using the Greedy Courier again, and now I certainly am way over the 30 I need to make that +2. Okay, and I can still scout a safe and mark it. I don't know, let's go to like a laboratory. A 3 or 5 for them. I'll say that's a 6. You should go steal that, buddy. All right, and then for my actual turn, I'm going to get rid of the Mason in order to get 2 more money, I think, just to give myself a bit more flexibility in the final turn. And then, it's a funny picture, we got a pretty basic radioactive banker here. The 5 or 6 gets me some money. All right, Preston's second to last turn. Oh, this is the same card. Places a henchman on my most recent card. Crud. Ooh, unless I send... Oh, God, that's my last henchman, though. Okay, so I am out of henchmen, but I'm not getting I'm not getting called out on my bluff. And I don't have to bluff next turn. He steals the top right safe from the depot, so he's got friggin' everything from the depot. And he discards this holographic engraver, placing it with a sneaky crime lord. Use then discard from the saloon. Lose 1 debt. Send one of your henchmen to jail to steal a safe from a site. It's a pretty cool card, too. And then, yeah, he just shuffles again. All right, so he got another safe. But none of them are from, like, the really super valuable places, so I'm hoping that he's not doing awesome. And I'm out of henchmen, but he also didn't call my bluff. So I might as well do the 5 for real. I can look at one final safe. Although, send one of your henchmen to jail I can't do. 5. Gain 2, then steal 1 from each opponent. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I just double checked. He can't steal from enemies. Also, the guy does default to the rightmost safe and then the topmost. So I did give him the wrong one at one point. All right, this 5 seems kind of useless, man. Well, whatever. I don't want to get called in a bluff. So I'll just get 2 from the Burley Tax Collector. And I think that's about it. I'm not using the bank robber. And then just to be safe for my action, I'll kill the horse and spend, I don't know, 4, because I think money's just like useless at the end of the game. I'll spend 4 to get 2 people there. Oh, that's right. I do want... Okay, cool. I've got 4. I was wondering to do my camera at the end. And Preston's last one, I did do a 5. Places a henchman on your most recent card. That part doesn't matter. I didn't bluff. And then remove one of your marks from one of your stolen safes unless you send one of your henchmen to jail. I will gladly send one of my henchmen to jail because I think all my marks are real marks. And he didn't get another safe. That's cool. And that'll be the end of the day. I didn't bluff, at least on anything he called me out for. I can spend 4 to make him lose 1 reputation. I will. And then end of your final turn. Lose up to 2 debts. Discard this to steal a site, safe from a site. Oh no, but I need to keep her to make my 30 plus money thing happen. All right, so let's see what my victory points are. I get 1 from the hypnotist. 6, 7 from a correct mark. 8, 9. So that's 9 plus 1, 10. This one's 4, 5. And if I have at least 4 scoundrels with cards, I do. 6, 7. So sorry, 9, 7 is 16. 17, 21, 22 for the correct mark. That's it for me. Oh, wait, no, it's not. 22. He gets nothing from reputation. Okay, and then he's getting the best that he can. Oh, my crud. So that's an 8, because 5 plus 3, where he doesn't care about the text. He's clearly not getting that one. That's an 8. That's a 6. That's a 4. That's a 7. So 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 8 is 21. I had 22, right? 9, 16, 20, 21, 22 from reputation. Let's go! Win by 1. And that's with the transform allies things. Like I said, even on the basic level, these guys can be tough. All right, so that was 3,000 Scoundrels. Barely pulled out a win. Let's talk about my thoughts on this one. So, positives. I like the poker card playing. I like that you can activate anybody, basically, and you can do whatever you want, regardless of the luck of the draw. But, of course, you take the chance of being caught in a bluff. I'm sure it's more exciting in competitive play, where somebody could be, paying attention and be like, wait a second, you used the 3 last turn. What are the chances you have the 3 this turn? Although they might not know if that was a bluff. So, it's certainly not going to live up to that level, but I do think this core mechanic is pretty fun and clean. I also like the potential for combos in these cards. And this gets into, like, kind of the core WoW quirk, or not quirk, gimmick of the game, which is putting the cards in. And, like, actually putting the cards in, I'm a little bit mixed in because it takes a little while to clean up, and it takes a little while to, like, put the cards in as you go. So it is adding some, like, fiddliness and setup and cleanup time to the game. At the same time, it is pretty funny. Like, you can get some cool little, like, emergent stories of the crazy combos you can have with these things, and it has made me laugh sometimes. And also, in a positive way, it's infinite kind of combinations, and judging for yourself whether the combo is worth it, like whether, the way this came out, if that's really good or not, is pretty fun. So there are certainly positives here, but yeah, I don't love, just like I didn't love it in Mystic Vale and other games that use this kind of like sleeving during the game mechanic, I personally don't love pulling cards in and out of things. Although, to be fair, this one is just like each turn, you usually sleeve a single card, and then at the end of the game, you got to pull them all out. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, to highlight again, I do like the combos. You saw me like doing fun things and having one character lead into another, lead into another. I could have done even more. I did fill my board pretty quickly, but I think it's cool. The actual victory of going for the safes, it's fine. The marking is way less interesting in solo. Now, Preston does actually do a fair amount with it, but a lot of the other ones just like throw away safes or don't do anything with safes at all. So the one you just saw, is kind of the most interactive of the Automa with a safe, and it's still just fine. And honestly, I just don't think like this is the most exciting thing in the world because, what you're really doing is trying to jockey for the 3 best safes you can find. So it's a very limited scope of how many victory points you can get, which could be cool, could feel like a nice efficiency puzzle, or it could be just meh. I find it okay, but not amazing. Although I do think it's cool, although again, it takes more setup and cleanup time, that with the expansion, you get like varied versions of the safes and varied combinations. Do they need that? I guess they wanted to make more sleeving in the expansion. I don't know if it's necessary, but it's all right. And then finally, the Automa. This is one of those super duper quick Automa. You don't really have to run a turn for them. You just resolve a quick card after you go. I like that it's quite varied in how the cards resolve. I also really like that there are 4 different personalities that do completely different things. Now, my one complaint, as I already mentioned, is that many of them don't like interact with some of the core mechanics of the game, in my opinion. So it's not quite as interesting as it could be. They all interact in some way. I shouldn't say they don't interact. They are involved somewhat. But yeah, like they aren't all grabbing the safes. They aren't all fighting over the safes. They kind of do their own thing sometimes. So not all of them are like made equal in my mind. But the fact that, you get 4 very different Automa, and they have, even in playing them, a lot of variety in how they go. And like you have some interesting choices to make, like with holding on to henchmen to prevent them from attacking you. You can see how many bluff cards they have, so their chance of calling you in a bluff is going to change, and you can kind of accommodate your play to that. That's all pretty cool. But to get access to any of that, you need to buy the base game and the expansion. I don't think either one is super expensive, but it is a little bit of a limiter. You can't play solo out of the box without a player-made variant in just the base game. But yeah, that was 3000 Scoundrels. Good job, my crazy teammates. You helped Doc Zimmer win. I think her theme was that she wants to use the technology to make the world a better place. So that seems like a pretty positive result. And we end our playthroughs by thanking our top-tier Patreon supporters, so a big thank you to J. Willie MF and Joshua Thomas. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.